Spacey dhidi ya mcheza sinema mwingine Anthony Rapp wakati huo akiwa teenager. Basi kufuatia shutuma hizo, kampuni maarufu inayoonyesha burudani na filamu Marekani ya Netflix imefuta sehemu ya 6 ya tamthilia ya House of Cards. Wakati huo, Spacey ameomba radhi kwa Rapp kupitia mtandao wa kijamii kwa maneno yake, kama nilifanya tabia isiyostahiki kwa wakati huo, ninaomba msamaha. Vipodozi vinavyokwenda kwa jina la Fenty Beauty vya bibie Rihanna vinavyopatikana madukani na vile kwa njia ya mtandao vimeingiza dola milioni 72 kwa mwezi wake wa kwanza wa mauzo tangu viingie kwenye soko mwezi Septemba. Vipodozi vya Fenty Beauty vinatamba dhidi ya wapinzani wengine kama Sephora. Basi katika mahojiano yake na Teen Vogue, Rihanna amesema vipodozi vyake havina mwisho. Bibie huyo pia amepita mauzo ya brandi nyingine za vipodozi kama NYX, Benefit, Urban Decay na Kylie Cosmetics. Masuala ya mitindo na wabunifu wa mitindo pamoja na watu mbalimbali walijumuika mwaka huu katika Lagos Fashion Week nchini Nigeria. Na hivi ndivyo mambo yalivyokuwa. Kwenye jukwaa la maonyesho, takriban wabunifu 50 kutoka kote barani Afrika walionyesha ubunifu wao wa mitindo walioitoa hivi karibuni.
Nilionyesha mavazi yangu ya majira ya spring hadi summer mwaka 2018. Vazi hili ni kwa ajili ya mwanamke ambaye anataka kusifiwa. Lina rangi za kuvutia, lenye mashamsham na jepesi kulivaa.
Wants to get compliments actually. So I look at it, it has full of color, it's vibrant.
Lagos Fashion and Design Week ni tukio la kila mwaka ambalo lilianza miaka 7 iliyopita na limekuwa tukio ambalo kwa baadhi ya watu ni lazima wahudhurie.
Watu wanakuja wakiwa wamejiandaa na wapo tayari kabisa kuonesha mavazi yao yenye kuvutia na kukuacha ukiwa umeburudika.
Hii ni wiki muhimu ya masuala ya fasheni, na kama haupo hapa basi umepitwa.
Baadhi wanaliona hili ni tukio zuri na wengine walilikosoa kiasi.
Mchanganyiko ungeweza kuwa wenye nguvu kutoka pande za kikabila, bado ulilenga zaidi kimagharibi, lakini ilikuwa poa. Ilikuwa bado tukio la kufurahisha.
Baadhi ya warembo walipita wakitembea na mavazi yao yanayovutia, ambayo wakati mwingine huwa mepesi na kuonyesha miili. Mbunifu mmoja wa mitindo alionyesha nguo mahususi za Kiislamu ambazo jimbo lake la Kaduna watazivaa.
Nimehusishwa na urembo na imani iliyojificha pamoja na nguvu za wanawake wa kaskazini, huku wakiwa na vizuizi vyote hivyo, lakini bado wanaweza kutafuta njia za kuonyesha urembo.
Taylor Swift aliingia kwenye mtandao wa kijamii kusahihisha uvumi kuhusu vazi alilovaa kwenye video ya muziki Ready for It, ambapo ilionyesha mwili mzima wa celebrity huyo kana kwamba hajavaa chochote. Ni kama alivyozaliwa. Ni kutokana na rangi pamoja na ubunifu wa vazi hilo. Nyota huyo pia anatarajiwa kutoa albamu yake ya 6 Novemba 10. Hivyo wewe shabiki wa Taylor Swift, kaa mkao wa kula, ZJ itakupakulia. Mtunzi wa nyimbo mwenye makao yake Nashville, Shai Little John alikuwa mshindi mwaka jana wa tuzo za Tennessee Songwriters Association International Horizon baada ya kuitelekeza fani yake kama mwanasheria na kujikita katika tasnia ya uimbaji. Bibie huyo basi alitembelea studio za VOA hapa mjini Washington DC, na mambo yalikuwa namna hii ndani ya kipindi cha RM Show ya VOA.
No jealous cause, you never break me or make me feel small.
Nilikuwa najaribu kueleza unachofanya maishani. Watu zungumza kuhusu muziki wako pamoja na yote unayofanya, lakini watu wengi akiwemo producer pale hawaelewi ni vipi wakili aache taaluma yake na kuingia kwenye muziki. Na nina uhakika kuwa swali hilo huwa unakutana nalo mara nyingi.
Stop and just go to sing. I'm sure you get that question all the time.
Niliacha kwa kuwa nilihisi kuwa ilikuwa muhimu. Nilihisi kuwa nisingeweza kuendelea kuishi kwa majuto, na nikasema kuwa ni lazima wakati mwingine mtu afanye maamuzi.
Na je, ulianza lini kutunga nyimbo na kuanza kuimba ikiwa kama ajira yako?
Kitaaluma naweza sema nilienda Berkeley mwaka 2010 ikiwa kama likizo ya kipindi cha sama. Nilianza sama ya mwaka 2009 ambapo nilipendezwa sana na nikaamua kuingia katika muziki. Nilifanya jaribio na nikachukuliwa mwaka 2010 ambapo nilikaa kwa mihula kadhaa, kisha baadaye nikaamua kuhamia Nashville. Nilikuwa najaribu kufupisha muda kwa kuwa nilihisi kana kwamba nilianza kwa kuchelewa.
Nimepata swali la kukuuliza sasa hivi. Je, taaluma ya uwakili huwa na ushawishi wowote kwenye utunzi wako wa muziki?
Ndiyo, kwa kuwa nina mpango mbadala. Ninalo jambo la kufanya iwapo muziki utakosa soko. Hakuna anayenilazimisha kuandika nyimbo kwa njia fulani au kunizuia kusema mambo fulani kwa kuwa sitaki kufurahisha kundi fulani la watu.
Saying certain things because of needing to, garner favor with certain people or something. So music is a creative expression and it's an art form, and I'm able to explore that fully without fear of not being able to, eat or pay my mortgage or something.
Baada ya miaka 43, Janet Jackson na kaka yake Randy Jackson walitembelea nyumba waliokulia wakati wakiwa wadogo huko Gary katika jimbo la Indiana. Wakiwa katika ziara yao hiyo, Janet alilielezea kundi moja la wanafunzi wa shule ya sekondari kuhusu hisia kali alizozipata kwenye ziara hiyo, hisia zilizomfanya atokwe na machozi. Janet Jackson alifanya ziara hiyo baada ya tamasha lake la muziki katika eneo la Chicago. Familia hiyo ilihama kwenda mji huo uliopo kiasi cha maili 30 kusini magharibi mwa Chicago baada ya kundi la The Jackson 5 liliporekodi albamu yao ya kwanza mwaka 1969, wakati huo Jackson akiwa bado mtoto. Angelina Jolie anapoweka jina lake kwenye filamu, bila shaka utapata ujumbe muhimu. Filamu ya Breadwinner ni ya kipekee, ikisimulia kisa cha kutia hamasa cha msichana raia wa Afghanistan aliyegoma kudhulumiwa haki zake za kibinadamu. Filamu hii hivi majuzi kati ilionyeshwa hapa mjini Washington DC. Endelea kufuatilia maelezo ya filamu hii katika ZJ la VOA Swahili.
I knew what peace felt like. Stories remain in our hearts even when all else is gone.
Kutana na Parvana, mwigizaji katika filamu ya michoro inayoitwa The Breadwinner na kusimamiwa na mchezaji sinema maarufu Angelina Jolie. Hadithi yake inatokea nchini Afghanistan wakati wa utawala wa Taliban. Kwa vile wanawake walikuwa hawaruhusiwi kutoka nje peke yao, Parvana alikuwa akijivalisha kama mtoto wa kiume ili atafute kazi kuweza kusaidia familia yake. Nadhani niliposoma kwa mara ya kwanza kitabu cha Debra Ellis, nilivutiwa sana na uhusika wa Parvana. Nilidhani kuwa ni uhusika wenye nafasi ya nguvu, lakini pia aliyekuwa akijiona kuwa msichana wa kawaida kwa namna nyingine. Alikuwa na dosari zake, mcheshi na mwenye uhusiano mzuri na ndugu zake, lakini pia alikuwa anapitia wakati mgumu sana. Nora ni mzalishaji wa filamu hiyo. Alihudhuria onyesho maalum la filamu hiyo katika ubalozi wa Canada hapa mjini Washington DC, pamoja na Rula Ghani, mke wa rais wa Afghanistan. Ingawa masuala mengi sahihi yamefanywa kuhusu Afghanistan, lakini mengine hayana uhalisia. Ingawa hii ni sinema ya mchoro, kuna utani ndani yake, lakini inaonyesha watu wamepitia mambo gani. Filamu hiyo inaonyesha ujasiri wa wanawake wa Afghanistan wakati ule pamoja na sasa, anasema Melanie Veve, mkurugenzi wa taasisi ya wanawake, amani na usalama ya Georgetown. Ukiona filamu hii, unaona jinsi msichana huyu mdogo alivyopambana kusaidia familia yake. Unaona pia ujasiri na kujali wengine. Ni filamu yenye ujumbe mkubwa sana. natumai wote tutajifunza kitu hapa. Mwaka 2017 wanawake nchini Afghanistan bado wanapambana, lakini mke wa rais wa nchi hiyo inaonyesha moja ya malengo yake makuu: elimu kwa wanawake wa Afghanistan. Elimu ni muhimu sana, kwa sababu elimu mara unapoipata hakuna anayeweza kuichukua kutoka kwako. Unaona, msichana anaweza kuendesha maisha kwa kujua tu kusoma na kuandika.
VOA News, Washington.
Macelebrity wa Hollywood walijitokeza kusherehekea Halloween kwa kuvalia mavazi ya kutisha na mengine yenye mvuto wa kimapenzi. ZJ inakukumbusha tu mambo yalivyokuwa kwa macelebrity hawa kwenye Halloween ya mwaka huu 2017. Kendrick Lamar kama Yesu Kristo, Demi Lovato kama Selena, Adele huyo, Kim Kardashian kama Aaliyah, Madonna, Kourtney Kardashian akiiga mitindo ya Michael Jackson, Steve Curry kama Jigsaw, Bruce Willis na msaidizi wake wakionekana kama mapacha kutoka Shining, Jessica Alba, Jay-Z na Beyonce wakionekana kama Lil Kim, Biggie. Hadi hapa ndio nakamilisha dakika hizi 15 ndani ya Zulia Jekundu au ZJ la VOA Swahili kutoka hapa mjini Washington DC. Tukutane tena panapo majaliwa ya Maulana. Mimi ni Mkamiti Kibayasi, ninakutakia weekend njema popote pale unaponiangalia.
I'm John Davis, and this is Motor Week. Join us as the Alfa Romeo Stelvio races into the SUV craze with Italian style and performance. Pat Goss has advice on keeping your car's color colorful. Roger Mecca slips behind the wheel of a classic Camaro Z28. And Honda goes sport injected for their latest Civic. So come drive with us next.
Motor Week, television's original automotive magazine.
While the Giulia sedan did a lot to cement Alfa Romeo's place in the Euro luxury sport market here, these days no brand can really compete stateside without an SUV. And indeed, the Stelvio was always a part of Alfa's return strategy for America. So let's take a look at this upstart utility and find out if more familiar European brands should be getting a little nervous. The 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio is indeed the right vehicle at the right time, as even with luxury sport brands, utility vehicles continue to take sales away from sedans. So it's not just a good idea for this re-emerging Italian brand, it's really a necessity. And while no one may have seen that coming 20 years ago, it almost makes sense at this point, as car makers have been able to infuse utilities with the same amount of performance, comfort, style, and even efficiency as their four-door siblings, while giving buyers more flexibility for carrying cargo. Behind the wheel of this Italian two-row ute, things are very quiet and luxurious. It's very stable, and like most of its competitors, drives more like a tall hatchback than a crossover-style utility. Seats are more than comfortable, but if you don't mind a sportier ride, upgrading to the TI Sport will get you some phenomenal sport seats. For now, all Stelvios come with a smooth-running 2-liter turbo i4 engine. It offers best-in-class standard horsepower at 280, accompanied by 306 pound-feet of torque. At full song, it sounds more like an exotic 6 or even 8. In opposite fashion from the Giulia sedan that the Stelvio is based on, we'll have to wait a little while longer for the high-performance quadrifolio version to arrive. Huge column-mounted paddle shifters are available to control the 8-speed automatic transmission with great precision. And if you ask for manual control, that's what you get. All Stelvios are all-wheel drive. Now, it doesn't feel leaps and bounds more spirited than the competition, at least without having the opportunity to drive them back-to-back. But it sure does feel hellaciously fast and super capable. 0 to 60 is 5.4 seconds, and only a few ticks behind the Giulia 2.0. Like Giulia, there's a DNA drive mode selector. Leave it in dynamic for the best results, and you won't find the ride harsh at all. Steering is quick, it feels planted, and just right, with loads of grip for cornering. With ALFA's Q4 all-wheel drive system, the front wheels only are fed power when necessary. Otherwise, it operates as a rear-wheel drive Sportster. Now, Stelvio performs just fine in all other drive modes as well. It just kind of gives you the impression that's not where it wants to be. At 111 inches, wheelbase is exactly the same as the Giulia, but with a little more material outbound. Overall length comes in about 2 inches longer. For the most part, it shares the same aggressive face, but lines are a little more pronounced, especially down the sides. There are 9 different tire and wheel packages, ranging from standard 18s to 20s. Even the back end treatment is gorgeous. We almost wish ALFA would have just called it a Giulia wagon, even though we all know to most Americans that would kill it. Base Stelvios come fairly well equipped, but most buyers will either travel down the Lusso or Sport Road for upgrades that match their priorities. Wood and nicer leather for the luxury-minded, aluminum trim for the sport-minded. Like the Giulia, there are only minor traces of any Fiat Chrysler lineage. Materials and fit and finish are on par with European alternatives. It's a very inviting space with only a fussy electronic shifter to detract from the serenity. Rear seat room is not plentiful, but certainly doable for 2 adults. Capacity in the cargo hold at 18.5 cubic feet is decent but short of most rivals. Folding the rear seat back will expand the space to 56.5 cubic feet. Also like the Giulia sedan, the Stelvio is technically mid-size but lies more in the middle ground between compact and middleweight SUVs. Government fuel economy ratings are 22 city, 28 highway, and 24 combined, for a reasonable energy impact score of 13.7 barrels of yearly oil use with 6 tons of CO2 emissions. Stelvio-based pricing is a very reasonable $42,990, though options are many and costly. We figure most Stelvios will go for low to mid-50s. According to the folks at ALFA, there was no point in adding yet another utility vehicle into a congested pool full of very nice import and domestic branded luxury crossovers, unless it was the most powerful, highest performing vehicle in its class. The 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio is just that. It's a fabulous effort. So ALFA's biggest challenge will be getting butts in seats to try it out. Once they do, Stelvio will sell itself. The Mustang-Camaro grudge match began on September 29, 1966, the day the Camaro went on sale as Chevrolet's answer to Ford's 2-year-old pony car sensation. And from the start, Camaro's performance standout was the virtually race-ready Z28 package. Well, our Roger Mecca is always looking for classic standouts, and when he had a chance to drive a first-gen Z28, he quickly buckled up for a joyride.
When most people think of classic American pony cars, the first one that comes to mind is usually the Mustang, like this Shelby GT350. But not me.
I like the Mustang too, but for me, the quintessential classic American muscle car is the Camaro Z28, the one that put Ford on its heels for decades to come.
By 1967, roughly 1 million Mustangs were already on the road. To compete against Ford's sporty coupe, the Bowtie Brigade turned to the Chevy 2 Nova Super Sport. but it lacked the styling pizzazz of the Mustang. So GM engineers came up with something entirely new with one goal in mind: to beat the Mustang in every possible way. In fact, when asked by the auto press what the name Camaro meant, they replied, "It's a small, ferocious animal that eats Mustangs." Chevy made a lot of... This is the one that everybody lusts after, the 1969 Z28.
Dude, this particular car is my absolute favorite GM car of all time.
Chip Miller is the owner of Eurostar Auto Gallery outside of Baltimore, specializing in rare and exotic automobiles. But he's also a massive fan of the 69 Z28 and has been since he was a teenager.
I think this car will stand the test of time because it has been so heralded over the years as being just a very versatile racer, a versatile street car with the look and the feel of American muscle. It's just got it all going on.
The Z28's main rival was the Mustang Boss 302, but in terms of sales, there was no competition. The 69 Z28 outsold the Boss by a 12-to-1 margin. Even in terms of total Camaro numbers, Chevy had closed the gap on Ford, selling only 50,000 fewer units in 1969. In just 3 short years, the Camaro had officially become a serious adversary for the mighty Mustang. I love a good underdog story. And in a lot of ways, that's what the Camaro was. At the time, the Mustang was the icon that everybody was chasing after, and this was just an upstart. But in a lot of ways, it was also a better car. The $458 Z28 package gave owners quicker steering, better suspension, and for the first time ever, the option of 4-wheel disc brakes. And though precision steering and classic Detroit muscle don't always go hand in hand, the Z28 gave me plenty of confidence to punch the accelerator no matter how twisty the roads got. And by design, the Z28 was built to put down fast laps on a track with a focus on handling. But for some consumers, that was actually a bad thing. Now, gearheads might have wanted a straight-line speedster, but that's not what the Z28 was. It got to 60 miles an hour in about 8 seconds, and it was built for the racetrack, not drag racing. And on the racetrack, it was dominant, winning the Trans Am Racing Series title in both 68 and 69. Racing conditions demanded that the 302 V8 be tuned to deliver top-end power, where the driver would spend most of their time. But that also means less speed off the line. But that all changes once the RPMs start to climb. Get up around 3,000 or 4,000 RPM, and this thing turns into a rocket ship. And the way this engine sounds, 30 might as well feel like 100. So what's not to love? Well, there's no AC, and driving on a hot summer's day will go from uncomfortable to miserable in a hurry. And the lack of power steering and a heavy clutch mean road trips or heavy traffic of any kind will become a labor-intensive endeavor. And while you will definitely fall in love with the engine's mighty roar, your neighbors definitely won't. But trust me when I say this, it's all worth it. Now, I've had the privilege to drive a lot of incredible cars over the years, but very few of them are ones I've actually wanted to take home. But this one is.
It takes a lot of work to keep a car looking like new, something our Pat Goss always takes a shine to.
No matter whether you have a new car or an old car, if it has nice paint, you want to keep it looking nice. And there are some ways to do that. And we have with us Eric from Expel Technologies to give us some pointers. Eric, welcome to Goss's Garage.
Thank you very much for having me, Pat.
All right. You've treated this car. Tell us about it.
So what we've done is we put our paint protection film on this vehicle. So what it is an aliphatic urethane with an automotive clear coat with an adhesive layer on the back of it, applied just like window tint. We use a slip solution to get it the way you want, and then squeegee it down onto the painted surface just like you would on tint. And we've got a 30-inch kit that's protecting the leading edge of the front, with the hood and matching fender line, the bumper, and the mirror backs were typically the main impact areas of the vehicle. So the technology, what really makes this nice, is our self-healing film. So what do I mean by self-healing? It's got elastomer polymers. If you get scratches in the film, 20 minutes out in the sun, it'll come out on its own.
You have a rather ugly-looking brush in your hand. What are you going to do with that?
Well, yeah, this is a brass wire brush, and what I'm going to do is demonstrate the self-healing capabilities of the film. We're going to take this brush and go right into the film and put some nice swirl marks into the film, and then we're going to pour hot water on it and watch it come right out instantaneously for you.
Interesting.
That kind of scenario was to happen, it would heal out on its own. Your paint won't come back, but the film will.
Right. Now, one of the things that we see from time to time is graffiti. What can you do with that?
Well, unfortunately, it does happen every now and then, depending on where you're at. The film can easily handle that with the right solvent or solution to take it off.
All right. Now, I guess the bottom line to all of this is that you're going to have a better looking car for a longer period of time, and when it comes time for trade-in, you're going to get more money for it.
That's correct. So it's two different things. It's about the car that you love, and you want to protect that no matter what. And then second thing is, if you're, let's say, leasing a car on a 2 or 3 year term, once you turn that car in, you say, hey, dealership, here's a set of keys. I'm going to take a set of keys back. 45 days later, the leasing company might just hit you with a bill for the condition of how the car was up on the front. So it's better to finance the paint away, and then when you trade in the keys, you don't have to worry about it.
Got it. Eric, thank you. And if you have a question or a comment, drop me a line right here at Motor Week.
A brand new car, a full tank of gas, and a key fob. That's all we need for a quick spin. When SRT engineers created Hellcat engines for the Dodge Charger and Challenger, some wondered if that performance would ever be paired with Jeep's ruggedness. Well, it has in the 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. Here, the Hellcat supercharged 6.2-liter V8 rates 707 horsepower and 645 pound-feet of torque. That big engine needs a lot of air, so fog lights are swapped for cold air ducts. An upgraded 8-speed automatic transmission triggers lightning-fast shifts. In sport mode, they're even quicker and the steering firmer. For us, that was the sweet spot while driving on the highway and these back roads in Maine and New Hampshire.
There's also a quad exhaust system out back. There's a bit of refinement to it. It's not as brutal and aggressive as the Charger and the Challenger, but still really nice. And you get a lot of that sound there, laying into the throttle. I mean, it's everything you want, maybe just a little bit more refined than those other cars.
This lowered SUV was also right at home at Club Motorsports in Tamworth, New Hampshire, maintaining great composure and stability. The Brembo brake system with 15 3/4-inch front rotors kept the hard braking zones largely uneventful. But the Trackhawk is still best suited for straight line runs. With the easy-to-use launch control system and all 4 wheels putting power down, we zoomed to 60 in 3.5 seconds on the very first run. The 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk well handled the drive to the track, our time on the track, and the drive back home, while still maintaining much of its all-weather and off-pavement capabilities. Look for it by the end of the year, starting at around $86,000. The 2017 Mini John Cooper Works Clubman brings more of what we like to the premium hatchback segment. It bears the name of legendary British race car builder John Cooper, who began the brand's long history of rally car racing. This is the first Mini to combine the latest version of the performance enhancements with the new all-4 all-wheel drive system. The 2-liter Turbo 4 pumps out 228 horsepower. It's the most powerful engine yet for a production Mini. When we slipped into the driver's seat, this compact all-wheel driver jumped off the line with good low-end torque and plenty of grip. The 8-speed Sport Automatic shifts quickly like it can't stand to be still. The engine and exhaust sound like a swarm of angry hornets and reverberate all around the cabin, and they're noises we enjoy hearing. At low speeds, response is quick and it can be darty. Steering is, however, razor sharp and heavy with some actual feel. The almost perfectly balanced body produces 0 roll. When it comes time to stop, the Brembo brake system hunkers down and halts in a hurry. It's no secret we're big fans of Mini, but combining the versatility of the 5-door Clubman and all-wheel drive
ここ大丈夫ですか？あ、こっちの方がいい。これ上登っていいのかな？上登っていいですか？
But I never lost so many sleeping. Learn about the way that things might have been. Big wheels keep on turning. Proud Mary keep on burning. I was rolling on the river. Yes, I'm rolling on the river. Get up, do. All right, don't forget Yokota Air Base. We want a warm welcome and lots of screaming and yelling. If you go down to the river, I bet you're gonna find some people who give. You don't have to worry if you got no money. The people on the river are happy to give. Big wheels keep on turning. Proud Mary keep on burning. We're rolling on the river. Yes, we're rolling on the river. Yes, we're rolling on the river. It's been a long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, U.S. Forces Japan, Lieutenant General Jerry Martinez.
Good morning, Yokota! Today, we are greatly honored to have our Commander-in-Chief visiting Yokota Air Base. On behalf of the 54,000 servicemen and women proudly serving in Japan, we extend our warmest welcome. The presence of our civilian leadership sends a clear message to each and every one of you in the audience. You are important. The security in the Pacific region is a top priority of our Commander-in-Chief. And he's here today to get a first-hand look at the proud men and women who stand firmly in our alliance with Japan and who will defend Japan. Accompanying the President today is the First Lady of the United States. The First Lady has done an amazing job representing and serving our great nation. She's put tremendous effort and emphasis on families, children, and our military members. She has stood by the President's side at very challenging times, most recently during humanitarian disasters. She works incredibly hard for our country and does all of this while being a devoted mom. We are sincerely thrilled that she is here today. Okay, everybody, it's time. Oh, yeah. Yokota Air Base, here we go. Soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, ladies and gentlemen, the President and First Lady of the United States. Okay, everybody. Mr. President, sir, I will tell you that you look great in that suit, but there's something missing. Could I please ask the wing commander of the biggest, baddest, meanest C-130 wing in the Air Force, Colonel Bull Moss, to come out here?
Should I put it on? I like this better. You can have my jacket, just... Thank you, honey. Thank you. Oh, boy, that's something. This is a great group of people. Thank you very much, and General Martinez, everybody, for your devoted leadership of our brave troops right here in Japan. And especially thank you, especially to all of the incredible service members. We're really here today, and we're going to have a good time. And we're going to celebrate your achievements. So I'll issue one of your favorite commands. Are you ready? At ease. At ease. Just sit there. Now have a good time. Just have a good time. Melania and I also want to extend a special thanks to Ambassador Bill Hagerty, who's doing an outstanding job. He's an outstanding person. I know him very well. Believe me, you got one of the great ones. He's leading our American embassy in Tokyo. I'm honored to be here today in this beautiful country, home of the extraordinary people of Japan. Japan is a treasured partner and crucial ally of the United States, and today we thank them for welcoming us and for decades of wonderful friendship between our two nations. Americans have deep respect and admiration for the people of Japan, their amazing culture, their strong spirit, and their very proud history. So on behalf of the United States of America, I send the warmest wishes of the American people to the citizens of this remarkable country. Now I know how you guys feel. This is pretty good. Our travels across Asia will take us to many historic places, to see many wonderful sights, and to speak before many audiences. But there's no single place I'd rather begin my trip than right here with all of you, the incredible men and women of the United States military and your amazing partners, the Japanese Self-Defense Forces. Thank you for being here. Thank you. To everyone here today who serves your country in uniform, thank you, thank you, thank you. We salute you. What's your rank? We're going to raise it. We salute you, we honor you, and we stand proudly with the men and women who defend us and our way of life. Nations are built from the courage, love, and sacrifice of patriots just like you. Each of you inherits the proud legacy of generations of warriors that have walked these very grounds for more than 7 decades. From Yokota's runways, American pilots took to the air and drove back the invaders during the Korean War. Tremendous courage, tremendous bravery. From here, they enforced a precious peace during a long and bitter Cold War. And in the aftermath of the devastating 2011 tsunami, This base served as the launching point for Operation Tomodachi, largest humanitarian relief effort in American history, which saved the lives of thousands and thousands of great Japanese citizens. Like those who came before you, you always rise to the occasion, and you never, ever let your country down. General Martinez, General Shirati, General Pascaret, Rear Admiral Fenton, Brigadier General Winkler, Colonel Moss, and Chief Master Sergeant Green, you lead the forces under your command with exceptional skill and devotion, and America is tremendously grateful to you. We're also very fortunate to stand alongside such strong and capable allies. General Mahira, General Asai, General Imaki, and General Ando. Thank you for your leadership and service. Thank you. Thank you very much. On behalf of the American people, I want each and every one of you, both American and Japanese, to know that your service and commitment helps keep us all safe, strong, and free. I also want to express our gratitude to the family members and loved ones who sacrifice so much to make your service possible. They are absolutely incredible people, and it's not easy. America is profoundly grateful for all you do. And we are back home starting to do, I will tell you, and you're reading and you're seeing really, really well. The stock market is at an all-time high. Unemployment back in the United States is at a 17-year low. Almost 2 million jobs have been added since a very, very special day. It's called Election Day, November 8th. 2 million jobs. It's a lot of jobs. And we've dealt ISIS one brutal defeat after another, and it's about time. It's truly inspiring to see American airmen and Marines and Japanese. Yeah, I have a great Marine here, General Kelly, 4-star. Did anyone ever hear of General Kelly? Where's General Kelly? He is something. Now he's Chief of Staff. But he does like those 4 stars, I want to tell you that. But American airmen and the Marines and Japanese self-defense forces, they're standing here with us today, side by side, confident, committed, and more capable than ever. You instill confidence in the hearts of our allies, and you strike fear in the hearts of our enemies. It's the way it should be, isn't it? Our alliance is a testament to the transformative power of freedom. Today, nations that once waged war now stand together as friends and partners in pursuit of a much better world. And we're getting there. We're getting there faster than you think. With your presence here today, shoulder to shoulder, you put hope into every soul that yearns for peace. All of you have made Yokota one of the most capable operational bases in Japan and actually anywhere in the world. For over a decade, this incredible place has been home not only to American service members, but also to the Air Defense Command of the Japanese Air Self-Defense Force. Today, this base serves as a critical center for coordination for American and Japanese commanders to plan their missions. For almost 60 years, the military alliance we see on this base has endured a cornerstone of sovereignty, security, and prosperity for our nations, this region, and indeed the entire world. Today we pay tribute to that legacy, a legacy you protect and grow each and every day. We dominate the sky. We dominate the sea. We dominate the land and space. Not merely because we have the best equipment, which we do. And by the way, a lot of it's coming in. You saw that budget. That's a lot different than in the past. A lot of beautiful, brand new equipment is coming in. And nobody makes it like they make it in the United States. Nobody. Got a lot of stuff coming. Use it well. But because we have, more important than equipment, we have the best people. Each of you embodies the warrior creed. Your devotion, prowess, and expertise make you the most fearsome fighting force in the history of our world. Together with our allies, America's warriors are prepared to defend our nation using the full range of our unmatched capabilities. No one, no dictator, no regime, and no nation should underestimate ever American resolve. Every once in a while in the past, they underestimated us. It was not pleasant for them, was it? It was not pleasant. We will never yield, never waver, and never falter in defense of our people, our freedom, and our great American flag. That flag stands for the values of our republic, the history of our people, the sacrifice of our heroes, and our loyalty to the nation we love. As long as I am president, the servicemen and women who defend our nation will have the equipment, the resources, and the funding they need to secure our homeland, to respond to our enemies quickly and decisively, and when necessary, to fight, to overpower, and to always, always, always win. Right? This is the heritage of the American Armed Forces, the greatest force for peace and justice the world has ever known. Free nations must be strong nations, and we welcome it when our allies from Europe to Asia renew their commitment to peace through strength. We seek peace and stability for the nations of the world, including those right here in this region, and it's a great region. As Americans celebrate Veterans Day this month, we honor all who have sacrificed to make peace and stability possible. We pay tribute to every proud American who has worn the uniform and served our country. Today, many nations of the Indo-Pacific are thriving because of the sacrifices made by American service members and our allies, and because of the sacrifices all of you continue to make each and every day. Here in Japan, we have seen the amazing things that are possible when a people are free and independent. Over the course of a single lifetime, the Japanese people have built one of the most successful societies and nations in the world. Over the next 10 days, we travel to South Korea, China, Vietnam, and the Philippines. We will seek new opportunities for cooperation and commerce, and we will partner with friends and allies to pursue a free and open Indo-Pacific region. We will seek free, fair, and reciprocal trade. But this future is only within our grasp because of you. You make it possible for peace-loving nations to thrive and for peace-loving people to prosper. You are the reason the great American flag will proudly stand behind me wherever I go. And every time I look at that flag, I will think of brave men and women like you, and I will think of all of the American patriots down through the generations who poured out their blood, sweat, tears, hopes, and dreams to defend our country. When you follow your citizens and people across the Indo-Pacific region see the flags of free and sovereign states like the United States and Japan displayed during our diplomatic meetings over the next 10 days, be proud of your nation, be proud of your service, and be proud of the security you provide that makes it all possible. Like your predecessors, you, our brave warriors, are the last bulwark against threats to the dreams of people in America and Japan and all across the world. You are the greatest hope for people who desire to live in freedom and harmony, and you are the greatest threat to tyrants and dictators who seek to prey on the innocent. History has proven over and over that the road of the tyrant is a steady march toward poverty, suffering, and servitude. But the path of strong nations and free people, certain of their values and confident in their futures, is a proven path toward prosperity and peace. We cherish our cultures, we embrace our values, and we always fight for what we believe in. Because of you, the people of America, the people of Japan, and the freedom-loving people everywhere are able to fulfill their destinies and follow their dreams. And we are grateful for your families, for their sacrifice and support that allows our brave men and women to serve. We also appreciate the sacrifice of dedicated civilians who keep this base going and take care of our military and their precious loved ones. We are eternally grateful for your service and for your sacrifice, and we are forever in your debt. I am so proud to be here with you today. We face many challenges and many opportunities, and we will face all of them together as a team. And if we do, I am certain that the future for America, for Japan, and for our cherished allies has never, ever looked brighter. Because of patriots like you, freedom will prevail. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the armed forces, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Last I looked, dead people don't come on the internet.
Stay-at-home mom and professional blogger Gina Crossley-Corcoran faces a politically motivated faction among her trolls. They disagree with her opinions on home birth, breastfeeding, and the healthcare system, and they want to drive her blog off the internet altogether.
I have a large reach, but I don't feel like it somehow makes me better than anybody or makes me some sort of powerful figure, but they see it as very powerful, and that's why they want to shut it down.
A few years ago, a coordinated trolling campaign drove away all of Gina's sponsors.
There were a couple of brands that hung on, but ultimately they were like, listen, these people are flooding our Facebook page with negative comments and hateful comments and talking about our families now, and we just can't do it. So suddenly, almost overnight, I had no income base, but I had what had become an expensive blog to run.
Gina took a chance and put up a paywall. Fortunately, it turned out that most of her audience was willing to pay to be part of the feminist breeder community. But the frustrated trolls have since stooped to new lows.
One of them called the police and told them that I was committing suicide. So the police showed up at my house at like 3 in the morning, woke me up out of bed, and said, we got an anonymous tip that you are suicidal and we have to put you under a 72-hour psych hold. So I was being thrown in the back of an ambulance, crying, you know, upset, afraid my children were going to wake up and see mommy being taken away. Luckily, I was able to talk to the EMT, and I explained to him, like, listen, this person you're saying from Twitter, this person doesn't know me. Please don't take me anywhere. I have kids to wake up to in the morning. And luckily, he sort of saw the situation for what it was, and he, you know, let me out of the ambulance and said, okay, go back to bed. So I found out from the police that anyone can make a call and say that they're worried about you committing suicide, or they're worried about your children's welfare, and anyone can make an anonymous tip. They don't have to leave their name. So there's really nothing legally speaking that I can do about that. My trolls realized that was a good way to use my own local police to harass me and get me out of bed at 3 in the morning. In the course of a year, it happened 3 times. So I went to the police and I said, this has to be illegal. And, you know, the local police's response was basically, well, if you don't like it, get off the internet.
When the police cannot or will not help, there is another place that trolling victims can turn.
Nice to meet you.
Please come have a seat. The victims I deal with come to us very frustrated. They're frustrated with the situation because they feel helpless.
Roman Horek is lead forensic investigator at InfoTransec, an international cybersecurity firm. He tracks down the trolls that law enforcement won't or can't find.
The reasons why the police won't engage the case is because they won't believe there's enough of a serious threat, or they won't have, the person themselves won't have enough evidence.
I've been getting a lot of people threatening me online, and it's scary. I'm not really sure what to do with this.
What sites mainly are they threats coming through on?
Mostly Twitter, but there's a couple on Facebook.
Okay. One of the big questions is understanding the motive of the troll. There's some trolls out there just scrolling the internet looking for someone random to, you know, harass. However, the vast majority of trolls that we deal with are someone who they know. They would have had a relationship somehow with the offender.
Indeed, in the course of their investigations, Roman and his team have discovered that it is people we know, family and friends and workmates, who are most often behind the heinous attacks we can face. But Roman's team has also uncovered a new, more dangerous type of player in the trolling game. Professional trolls. Those who can be hired to settle a score and attack others for money.
Online trolls for hire. The service is available online, almost like a hitman. Some of the guys are very professional. They even create their own malware targeted to that victim, so they write their own code, and these guys know what they're doing. These trolls for hire could be pretty much anywhere in the world, Romania or Ukraine, Russia, lots from there. Trying to track them down often becomes an international operation, having to coordinate between different law enforcement in different countries.
But, thankfully, the vast majority of trolls are outright amateurs who don't really know how to cover their tracks.
About 85% of people who are doing these things, you know, trolling and harassing people online, are not tech savvy. Most offenders are leaving a vast amount of digital evidence every day, every second, every minute right now. Pretty much everything we do online is potentially archived.
Many trolls operate with a false sense of security about their anonymity and of the potential consequences they face if exposed. In England, the law has taken a hard stance and a line has been drawn in the digital sand.
Yeah, I sent some tweets in 2014 and ended up getting a 12-week prison sentence for those tweets.
It wasn't her habit to abuse people online, but today Isabella Sorley is known as one of England's most notorious trolls. So, what was Isabella's online offense? In 2013, feminist activist Carolyn Criado Perez was campaigning to have a woman's face appear on the next printing of the English 10-pound note. The public reaction was largely positive, but she was also deluged by a torrent of abusive, irrational, and threatening messages on Twitter. Isabella joined that mob.
That particular night, I was incredibly drunk and I decided to go home and just send tweets. It wasn't about the campaign. I don't overly care what's on a British banknote. I know she was campaigning to have a woman and the Queen's on the banknote anyway, so I did really not care at all what she was campaigning about. Even now, I don't even know why I sent them. I would love to know why, and I'd love to give like a clear answer. But the real thing is that I was drunk and I've just jumped on the bandwagon and followed a lot of other people.
The trolls were not debating. They were spewing hate and attacking Criado Perez personally for her feminist agenda. Isabella added 6 threatening tweets of her own. She threatened rape and worse.
I woke up in the morning, like, obviously worse for wear, realised what I'd done. I was physically sick. I don't know if it was down to the tweets or just the hangover. Like, absolutely vile. Like, what I tweeted was disgusting, so to think that I actually typed that out, I felt disgusted in myself that I'd sent those specific words to another person.
Filled with remorse the night after spewing her online hate, Isabella took to the internet to both confess and say sorry.
I apologised to her, went, look, it is an empty threat, do not worry, I'm sorry. I don't know if it reassured her at all, but kind of it would make me feel a little bit better that, yeah, she's getting all these other rape and death threats, at least mine is an empty threat, and she doesn't have to worry about me following through with what I said.
But rape and death threats are taken very seriously. 4 months later, Isabella was arrested, along with another troll. Her trial was widely publicized, and she faced the scorn of a nation.
I got a 12-week prison sentence in Holloway prison. It's hard. It was really hard, because obviously, like, how high profile it was, I couldn't hide away. I had all the prisoners asking why I did it. I had all, like, the prison guards asking why I did it. I was getting a lot of abuse from everywhere. I was being made out to be a woman here, and then obviously I'm in a women's prison, so I was like, oh dear, now you got my head kicked in because of what someone had saw what I'd tweeted on the news. I saw myself on Crime Watch in the prison cell, so that was hard.
After her time in jail, Isabella was ordered to do community service and also pay money to Caroline Criado Perez personally for her online attacks. In England, Isabella Sorley's case was a precedent-setting one. A very clear message had been sent by the Crown, but not everyone agrees with the government's stance.
I think trolling is a free speech issue. I think what we have is a situation where people are being prevented from saying certain things, often quite shocking things and not very socially useful things. You know, it's often just insults or abuse. But in my mind, that falls under the category of freedom of speech. And if you aren't free to hate someone, then you're not free.
Brendan O'Neill is editor of the online current affairs magazine, Spiked. He's no stranger to controversy or trolling.
Well, I've been attacked as an individual all the time. I get abuse, I'm defamed, I'm libeled. If I search for myself online, there's all sorts of abuse. And sometimes it becomes physical. I've had an envelope of human shit sent to this office. So, you know, you get abuse all the time. If you put yourself out there, if you express an opinion, if you say what you think, you will get abuse. But in my mind, that's the price you pay for living in a free society in which everyone is allowed to express their opinion.
Today, opinions are everywhere. But increasingly, tolerance of opposing views is not. It seems anyone can be attacked for saying anything remotely offensive. And the line between internet trolling and what is called public shaming is blurring.
I guess in my definition, net trolls are like a kind of extreme, outrageous minority who will use kind of extreme language. With a public shaming, it's like nice people like us. We tear somebody apart because we're trying to be good, kind, empathetic people. And we're the ones who really do the damage, because being torn apart by like tens of thousands of lovely people like us for a joke that lands badly on Twitter, that is profoundly and horrendously traumatizing.
Best-selling Welsh author John Ronson thinks the social media pylons and the public humiliation that many of us take part in daily is out of control.
Take somebody like Justine Sacco, you know, who just before getting on a plane to Cape Town wrote, "Going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS, just kidding, I'm white." And she chuckled to herself and pressed send and got no replies. Got on the plane, turned off her phone, fell asleep, probably the last decent sleep she had in a year.
Justine had only 170 Twitter followers when she posted her now infamous joke. But as she slept on that flight, the internet exploded. When she woke up and turned her phone back on, she discovered that she had lost her job and was now despised by a global audience, with millions of people attacking her online.
Justine's tweet overwhelmed your timeline. Yeah, I else thought, which was, wow, somebody's fucked. So sat up in bed. Then I thought, I'm not certain that that was intended to be a racist tweet.
John Ronson was so unnerved by the public response to Justine Sacco's tweet that he went to see her.
When I met Justine a couple of weeks later, just crushed and broken and mangled up, I asked her to explain the joke, and she said living in America puts us in a bit of a bubble when it comes to what's going on in the third world. I was making fun of the bubble. And then came the trolls. I'm actually kind of hoping Justine Sacco gets AIDS, lol. Somebody else that night wrote, somebody HIV positive should rape this bitch, and then we'll find out if her skin colour protects her from AIDS. And you know what? Nobody went after that person that night. We were also thrilled to go after Justine. You know, we were so happy to be destroying Justine. We didn't have enough space in our brains to destroy somebody who was inappropriately destroying Justine. So that person got a free ride. With a public shaming, you are being told by hundreds of thousands of lovely people that you are worthless. And the people who I met who were really crushed, traumatized, depressed. A smattering of trolls may have said, we're going to rape you and kill you. But what really killed those people was our righteousness.
The line between bad behavior and trolling is blurring. And as Britain's most notorious troll, Isabella Sorley, has found out, the consequences are profound. She spent 12 weeks in jail for sending 6 threatening tweets after a night of binge drinking.
20 minutes, it's still defining my life, which, again, I struggle to cope with that because it was such a short period of time, and I'm always going to have that stigma attached that I'm the Twitter girl.
She's sorry for what she did, but she's not sure the punishment fit the crime.
I think obviously what I sent, if you'd said it face to face, you're going to get in problem. I don't think I would have got prison. I was definitely made an example of because of how high profile it was.
Isabella would like to apologize to her victim face to face one day, but a lifetime restraining order means that likely won't happen. Today, she works with youth to educate them about the dangers of alcohol abuse, which she believes ignited her trolling behavior. But for now, and likely forever, Isabella will have to live with the very public and criminal consequences of her online actions. Free speech advocate and journalist Brendan O'Neill doesn't mince words. He thinks Britain is creeping closer to a 1984 George Orwell police state when it comes to what can or cannot be said in society. He sees trolls as a scapegoated minority, pawns in a game where much more is at stake.
We present the trolls as powerful and the trolled as these kind of victims. I think it's the other way around. I think troll hunters, the people, usually the media people who present themselves as these brave warriors against offensiveness on the internet, they are the greatest threat to the internet. They are the ones undermining the freedom of the internet, the accessibility of information, the right of people to express themselves. And it's the trolls, the sad man or woman stuck in their bedroom talking rubbish on the internet, they are the victims.
As governments legislate to deal with trolling, there may be unintended consequences for everyone who communicates online.
And my concern with the way in which trolling is discussed today is that everything gets conflated. So you have a situation where trolling can be everything from someone issuing a death threat, which is obviously a serious thing to do, to someone writing an article saying, I don't think climate change is the biggest problem facing humanity. Everything gets lumped together as trolling, and if you believe in freedom of speech, as I do, you should be outraged by the arrest, not to mention the imprisonment, of someone simply for expressing an idea.
6,000 kilometers away in Toronto, Canada, after 3 years of being forced off the internet, having his artwork vandalized, and wondering if he would go to jail for the tweets he sent, the verdict in Gregory Allen Elliott's case is finally handed down. He is innocent of all charges. The judge says his tweets contained nothing of a violent or sexual nature, and there was no indication that he intended to hurt his accusers.
I was not doing anything wrong, and I was, protecting myself and my freedom of speech, and I wasn't going to be bullied or intimidated by people that were trying to protect the world from bullies and intimidators, for lack of a better word,
Gregory has his freedom, but he's paid a heavy toll for the speech his opponents considered trolling.
The emotional toll is brutal. It's brutal, and the monetary, the money and stuff. I lost my job of 17 years. I had to cash out my pension. Absolutely destroyed me financially. Destroyed me financially.
Gregory's reputation has also been damaged. Even his most abrasive tweets pale beside the trolling he received at the hands of the Twitter mob.
Even though he was in the right, there is a permanent record that's going to follow him on the internet of Mr. Elliott being labeled as a men's rights activist, a misogynist, and a pedophile. And I guarantee you one thing, nobody who accused him of being those three things is going to apologize.
Gregory's detractors say that misogyny won, and the most vicious anti-feminist trolls see his acquittal as a victory. Tragically, this case has done nothing to make discourse on the internet any better. Meanwhile, back in Chicago, blogger Gina Crossley-Corcoran is tired. Despite the validation she gets from her feminist breeder community, the trolls are wearing her down. Constant snarky comments, cruel pranks, threats against her family, and late-night police intrusions. She's learned to manage it, but it's exhausting.
I wish that people would use the internet more as a buffet. Just take what you want and leave the rest, as opposed to feeling like anything that doesn't apply to them or anything that they're bothered by is a reason to go on the offensive. You know, when I go to the buffet, I like the chicken and I like the mac and cheese, but I'm not insulted by the other things that are there that might be useful for other people and other people might find palatable. I'm just like, yeah, those aren't for me, and I walk away. I don't like go up to the manager and scream, how dare you have this available at your buffet? It doesn't personally meet my needs, but I feel like a lot of people on the internet, that's exactly the way that they react.
Will this new psychological phenomenon of trolling ever end? The answer is likely no. Instead, we need to gain the tools to recognize how to fight trolling and recognize how not to become trolls ourselves. Perhaps ironically, notorious troll Wild Goose advocates for anonymity and cautions that our real physical lives should be kept off the internet altogether.
People need to disassociate themselves from their internet persona. I think it's dangerous to sort of plug your personality into the internet. You're leaving yourself open to a lot of dangerous actors, more dangerous people than the Bill Wagner crew. Privacy is just as big of an issue as freedom of speech. They go hand in hand.
We think of our real-world physical lives as distinct from our online activity, but that separation is rapidly breaking down. The biggest challenge we face as we adapt to this change is maintaining our freedoms in the digital space. Freedom of speech may be the most difficult to transition.
For the first time in human history, the masses can express their opinions in a published forum. I think that's a wonderful thing, and my concern with troll hunting is that it's undermining that democratic breakthrough.
Physical threats should never be tolerated. But we may need to ensure that others have the right to disagree with us, insult us, even hate us online.
If we are serious about freedom of speech, then we have to allow people to say hateful, obnoxious, racist, sexist things. Freedom of speech covers all forms of speech.
VOA presents the following National Geographic program as we continue to explore the world around us.
Let's move across the Indian Ocean to the Maldives. This is actually the first story I ever did for National Geographic magazine in 2008. And I met Guy Stevens, he's a manta ray researcher, and he had discovered what he reckoned was the world's biggest manta ray feeding aggregation in the world. And the place was called Hanifaru, and he had a major issue. And the issue was the fact that this site was basically about to be developed into a marina. He asked me to be the first person to photograph his manta rays. And basically, hopefully we're able to use those images to try to raise awareness about this amazing, amazing location there. We had to travel in the southeast monsoon. This is not the Maldives of your honeymoon. It rains, it's dark, the seas are very rough for us to get out to the study site using local boats. The manta rays, they love it because what happens, there's upwelling. A lot of nutrients push to the surface and, a lot of plankton aggregate, and these manta rays migrate there from all across the Maldives, mainly to feed. Hanifaru Bay is basically this sort of little island on the bottom right, and then you have this sort of weird indentation in the reef. That indentation makes for an incredible plankton trap, and when the tides and the currents are just right, all the plankton gets sucked into this bay and it just gets circulated in this eddy, and it just increases and increases and increases. And this is where the manta rays go. Now, when the plankton concentrations are quite patchy and low, the mantas, they're solo artists. They feed by themselves. Now, imagine you're a manta ray and the food's quite patchy. There's a patch there, there's a patch there, there's a patch everywhere. Now,